You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence is it. You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence is it.
Well, good afternoon.
Good
Happy.
afternoon.
How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for being with us on our international, worldwide Women in Ag Wednesday, where we are featuring mothers in ag the month of May, and you were selected. All your wonderful work that you're doing in agriculture, and we wanted you to be a guest to highlight you, and of course to empower other women that are in agriculture, and just give them some help and support and encouragement that they could also be actual a great contribution, or contributors is the right word, to the industry of agriculture.
Well, thank you for having me.
All righty. So, Miss Cook, or is it Miss or Mrs. Cook?
Mrs.
Mrs. Okay, great. So we want you to, of course, tell your name, the full name, your background. Do you have children? We know that you're married, and where you're from, and then we'll kind of gradually go into your agriculture expertise.
Okay. I am Vicki Cook, and I grew up in Texas on a farm and married a man in the Navy. So we got to see the world for a little while before having children and settling down here in Oklahoma.
Well, Oklahoma. Is he from Oklahoma?
Jones, Oklahoma.
Jones, Oklahoma. Okay, that's
yeah, just northeast of the city. I had to find a small town, kind of like where I grew up in Texas.
Okay, I know where you are now. I think I've been to an alpaca farm out there.
Yes, you have.
Yes, ma'am.
They're my dear friends.
Yes. So, and then how many children do you have? Because again, looking for mothers.
I have 2 children, a son, Casey, and a daughter, Suzanne.
Awesome. And they also, I guess you grew them up or raised them in the agriculture community?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you do exactly? What's your expertise in agriculture?
Well, I don't know that I have an expertise. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, but I love it. Yeah. Grew up on a cotton farm in Texas, and we raised cattle. So all through my younger days, I was in 4-H and showed livestock, and then my children show livestock. But primarily now we raise beef cattle and are members of the Oklahoma Certified Beef Association. And I also have a on-farm greenhouse where I sell garden plants and herbs and hanging baskets. And then I also have chickens, and we do eggs and poultry.
You are a Jill of all trades, literally.
Oh, and then I taught school for a little while and retired and started my farm camp. So I get to share my love of agriculture with children.
God bless you. Thank you for your services. Because you're not only like you're doing it there for your family, but you're sustaining and sharing it to the community, especially the next generation.
Yes.
And get them encouraged. Yes, very, very important. And I call that a sustainability piece in itself. And people are like, what do you mean? I said, well, I am getting older and I will die. So it is so important that we make sure the next generation understand the importance and what a wonderful industry to be, to have a career in this day and time. That I think that a lot of children are not properly exposed, or it's not agriculture or farming, or however you want to, whatever you want to say. Because like I said, I use agriculture because it's the more sophisticated word, but because farming, with the audience that I target and trying to make sure they get it, agriculture is a very sustainable industry because we can't be on earth without it. Correct?
That's exactly right.
It's that simple. It's like God and oxygen, air. You can't see it, but you have to have it. But with agriculture, you have to wear it, you have to eat it, you have to drink it, you have to breathe it.
Yes.
So what is your favorite part of your actual agriculture businesses?
I don't know that if I have a favorite part. I love everything. But my least favorite part is probably winter time and busting ice and all of that kind of stuff. So, but I love every part of it.
That's awesome. So you're like born and raised agriculture. You went out, you did the actual, taught school, and then still full circle. You're back there with the family farm. I love it. So do you work any with the USDA?
Yes, we have. We've done some equip programs with the NRCS.
Okay, great. So that's good, because that's exactly what we want people to understand, and what we try to make sure that message gets out weekly. We try to make sure people understand there are resources to help you. So I'm going to kind of go through that a little bit. Initially, you had to get your farm registered with FSA. Am I correct? Farm Service Agency.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the first step, which is free. And I tell people that, and they are friendly, and every state has a farm service agency. And then the second step is going to NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Services. And there you get a conservation plan, or how did that work? Or you just got signed up with the EQIP?
Well, we signed up for the EQIP, and then we did a plan, and we did some eastern red cedar removal on our property, and we're able to also do some cross fencing.
Awesome. See, that's good, because I always usually speak to people who use the EQIP program for like drip irrigation, the high tunnels or the hoop houses. That's in the EQIP program.
That's my next goal.
Yay! Well, I'm trying to get where you are. I'm trying to work on actually with some irrigation. I hadn't gotten into that with the EQIP or some of the erosion issues that we have here.
Yeah, we have some erosion, and that should be some of our next things to look at too. But I would love to have another high tunnel.
I know, and it's so wonderful that they have that program. It's a cost share type thing, but it's very reasonable and it's fair.
Yes.
It's very, it's a great program to get yourself active and participating in USDA programs to you move to different levels. So do you do any other, do you participate in any other USDA programs?
I can't really think of any right now offhand that we do.
Okay. Because when you mentioned school, I just interviewed someone not too long ago that here in Oklahoma, she does like pigs. She's raising pigs, and they're free range pigs, but they're not like in the traditional, how would I say, factory type raising pigs. She has them, but she raises the pigs, but she also does pork production to schools. So
they did call me about that, but it was so late in the school year that they wanted to know if I would be on board for next year.
Okay.
And so I do plan to do
farm to school.
Yeah, for the farm to school program. I was really impressed with the gentleman too, because he said their high school students, they actually flame broil their burgers for their high school students.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is very good. So as far as with the farm to school, they contacted you, and where you'll do, and they'll help you, like pay you to produce food.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. I love it. That's exactly what this young lady is doing, and she's also going to do with her pig. She's going to do a Hawaiian aloha, like a whole roasting of a pig, and then have the locally grown. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and then going to have other farmers at the event to be selling their actual vegetables and be a part of this whole feast.
Yeah, but we just recently held a farm to table dinner. Next door, my neighbors have like a small wedding venue, and we hosted a farm to table dinner there, and it turned out really nice.
That is awesome. So do you say that do you go to farmers markets or anything like that?
Yes, I currently think I'm superwoman and can do 4 farmers markets a week. So
look at you. Wow. 4 times a week?
Yes.
So you must have a great production there. How much do you like grow? And can you also talk about what variety of plants you grow?
Mostly the things I take to the farmers market would be plants and not produce. And then we sell our beef.
Okay.
At the farmer's market. And then I have a friend that raises pork. And so I take some of her pork and sell pork for her. And then we sell our farm fresh eggs at the market.
Nice. So you said with your plants, you grow the plants like seedlings, or do you grow like okay?
Yeah, I start the seeds. That's probably my favorite part in the greenhouse is starting the seeds. And so I did tomato plants and tomatillas, peppers. I also have some herbs, and then I did some floral hanging baskets for Mother's Day.
Nice. So what farmers market do you participate at?
We do the East Side Fresh Market on Tuesday nights at the Oklahoma County Extension Office on 63rd.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday nights, I'm helping organize the Nakoma Park Farmers Market on 23rd Street in Nakoma Park, right next to the fire station. And then Friday nights, I'm doing the Friday night market in Choctaw. That's at Choctaw Creek Park. And then Saturday morning, I do the Arcadia Farmers Market.
You You go, girl. That is a lot. You are on the go.
So I
I mean,
finally had to tell somebody today that I had 2 nights off, and that was Monday and Wednesday.
wow. And you love every minute of it,
Yes, I
correct?
do. I love meeting the people and sharing my story.
I love it. And I'm so glad that you're on this platform with us sharing your story. And literally, we go worldwide. We were recently named the largest minority nonprofit agriculture organization in the world, meaning
Oh,
that,
that's awesome.
yes, we have 88 plus chapters worldwide and growing. So, your story, the whole goal is to empower, to connect people to USDA programs. Everything that we receive, we try to share it back with the world to also connect and get them growing and producing locally grown foods. I mean, it's so important that people understand the best food is locally grown food. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about, as far as with your seedlings? Because I really personally want to try to buy some of those from you as well, because I grow community garden crops here, fruits and vegetables in the heart of Eastside, Oklahoma City. So people are able to come, less fortunate people, to come in and actually harvest some of the locally grown foods. And we also teach classes on ground how to grow their own food. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how you start your seedlings and what type of media or soil you start your seedlings with?
Well, I usually start my seedlings in January, and it's kind of
Wow.
a trial and error on which things I should start first and which need to
Mhm.
wait a little while. And I just use a regular potting mix. I don't really do anything special.
Really?
And I made a homemade seed starting table with a heating element in the sand to help keep the temperature warm enough to get the seedlings to germinate. And I hung some shop lights up on a shelf, and everything's a do it yourself, see if it'll work. If not, rework it and try it again. But I mostly grow tomatoes, a few varieties. I don't get into all the fancy striped ones. And I just want a basic tomato and
Right.
have several varieties of peppers. And I have some different culinary and medicinal herbs that I grow. And
Nice.
then the hanging baskets are just whatever I think is pretty.
Oh, bless you. That is phenomenal. Now, do you do any, like, can someone buy something from you online or,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, I do have a website,
Okay.
but I haven't figured out how to ship yet, live plants or frozen beef. That's something that I'm working on, is learning how to ship the frozen beef.
Okay.
And people can also shop the farm, but it's best when you have livestock and all kinds of crazy things happening. And it's
Mhm.
best to call and make sure I'm home and say, "Hey, I want to come out. Are you there?"
Most definitely. And I agree wholeheartedly with so much going on in the world. I think that shipping, to fast track your shipping process, um, and do it that way. Because, people are just, I keep saying it has to be in the food because it seems it's happening more often. We have to have food and water, and it seems that this trend of what things are going on in our world, that it's almost like it's some type of chemical imbalance.
I
Um,
think so.
so as far as the actual, you said the flowers that you produce, the hanging baskets, you said whatever you think is pretty.
Yes, mostly like several varieties of petunias with some verbena and just some color mixed in.
Nice, nice, nice. So, do you ever have like training? I know we just came off of that talking about. Have you thought about doing some online training now that we're in the virtual world?
Yes, but I'm not technology savvy. Let me outside and get me in the dirt and I'm fine.
Yeah,
Yes, I would love to do some online classes, but I do have classes that we host on the farm for adults, and then I do the farm camp for children.
okay, awesome. Could you, and this is all on your website, correct? Because I want to make
Yes,
sure that our agriculture child care, that we get signed up to bring up, the children, because we try to take them to live farms and let them
oh, that
see.
would be fun. My
Yes.
my biggest issue, I haven't done field trips yet. I've done mostly day camps. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted people to know too that if it's a day camp, check with your tax person. You should be able to claim some of that if you both work on your
Oh,
taxes for a
nice.
day camp. But I don't have bus parking, but I can make something happen.
That is phenomenal. Like I said, I look more than My staff here could help you if you like on the virtual side. Because like right now with this platform, it's that easy that you
Oh,
could
wow.
stream and we
I
could
would love
do.
some help.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That and then I could have my assistant or some of the interns, the college interns, where they could stream you live at your schedule. Because I would love for you to share and be able to tell people, encourage women, especially. We also educate men, although they don't like to give us credit that we're educating men, but that's another story. But we would love for you to educate some of the women how to like be a Jill of all trade like yourself. What's the name of your farm, your business?
Well, we had a hard time finding the name because we wanted to get an LLC, and so we had to choose something that wasn't already taken. So the name of our farm is 4C Ag Service, and the 4 is for the 4 in my family, and our last name is Cook, and then Ag Service because we did some of everything.
Oh wow! So you said the number four, right?
Yes,
And what
and the
else?
letter C,
Okay, four C
and then Ag
service.
Service because
I
we need
love it.
logging for people, and so we had a little bit more than just selling plants and beef.
Right. I love that. That is very creative. So it's for you and your family. And the C was for like the cattle, I assume, or you
No,
said
it's for Cook. That's our last
Cook.
name. Yeah.
Oh, your Cook, your last name. I'm sorry.
Yes.
4C, I see now. That is phenomenal. That is just way, way, way cool. So as far as going through all your incorporation and all that with your LLC, do you find it difficult for us, getting grant funding? Because that's where most farmers, if you will, individual farmers, I'm not talking about ag groups like ourselves. Do you find it hard that there's got very little services for, LLCs or individual farmers? How do you feel about that?
If you are in mind to look for grants and funding, they're out there.
Mhm,
But I started one, I don't know, probably about 6 years ago.
mhm.
And I got bogged down in the paperwork. So I think the hardest part for grants is finding someone that can help you write it.
Right, correct. Where would you direct people as far as individual farmers to get like a grant? Because most farmers, they're afraid to get into the loan side of it because Farm Service
Yeah.
Agency has some great loans, probably the most low interest loans you will ever get when it comes for farming. Where would you suggest that farmers look into as far as an individual farmer?
I would say first thing would be to start with your FSA and your USDA offices and ask what's available. Search on their website because they do have
Mhm,
categories that have grant opportunities there. And
mhm.
then sometimes, like for different, like greenhouse companies and things, might list some things if they have grants for growers to help you get started.
Awesome. So that's it. And also another source that I know that Oklahoma Department of Agriculture used to have a diversification grant. And
Yes,
that
yes.
would help individual farmers. And I always
There's
like to bring that.
Yeah, there's that grant, and then there's the what is it, rural economic development.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a grant there that is to try to help, like if you're starting a business and need to hire some people that you're kind of a little bit farther from a city. They
Hmm.
help get started because then you're creating rural jobs in the area.
Very good. And have you utilized any of those rural development, those RD and USDA rural development grants?
I looked at them, but then all the paperwork and the process to fill them out, it was just kind of overwhelming to me. And so I just put it to the side and went back to the greenhouse and planted some more tomatoes.
I understand that wholeheartedly. I mean, I think that may even be an initiative that we may start looking at to get a grant writing team for farmers
That would be wonderful. I
because
found a lady through Facebook that was in, I want to say Indiana. I can't remember now where she was from,
Mhm,
but she taught at a college, and that was part of the class she taught was something to do with grants. And
mhm.
then she retired, but she was going to have her students in her class help me with the grant, and then retired, and then we never did get back to it.
Wow. Well, we will definitely look out for. Also, another source for a grant is SARE, SARE. Now, that's an easier one. It's
Okay.
SARE is for Southern Agriculture, Sustainable Agriculture Research Education Grant. But it's
Okay.
SARE. And they have like a template for individual farmers. So it's not this big. I know exactly what you're talking about when you're talking about bogged down in paperwork. Because if you don't
Yes.
have that skill. Grant writing is very daunting. I do know
Yes,
that.
because I got lost in the part where it was asking me how many miles I was from the different demographics and this ethnicity,
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I don't know where people live, and
yeah, it's too much. It's overwhelming. But I would love for you. That's a source for you, and just for the rest of you listeners to reach out to SARE. And that's in every region. It's actually divided. So it's a subsidiary of the USDA, and they have some grants for individual farmers to be
I'll
able
check
to
that
add
out.
some of those. Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, and it's more of a template that you just kind of fill out stuff as you go, what you're doing, and how you could actually assist with the agriculture industry, or something like you think that you could develop, like what you're doing. I think it's way neat as far as starting the seedlings and then being able to work at all those farmers markets. That's a niche in itself, being able to educate women how to, or farmers. I keep saying women, but this is a women's show, a women's show. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure we appeal to the women. But seeing you as a mother, I'm kind of rambling here. You're actually doing a little bit of everything on the farm, and we want to be able to show that you can do it if you want to do it and stay consistent. Am I correct?
Yes. You just start small and work your way up.
And just keep going. And it's not a
Yes.
such thing as tired. Am I correct? Because I mean, I'm looking
Exactly.
at you like, wow. I mean, you definitely put me in my place by ever saying that I'm tired. You're going to farmers market, 4 farmers markets a week. That means that you're having to prep. I know what it takes because I've ran a farmers market before.
Yes. But
So
it's a good tired though.
most definitely, agriculture
Yes.
is. If you're really into it, it doesn't bother you. You get up the next morning with rejuvenated energy, and yeah, most
Yes.
definitely. So, what do you at the farmers market? Do you have a certain way or packaging that you actually do things that's kind of unique in your whole promotion?
Well, we have our beef
Mhm.
processed at two different processors here in Oklahoma, and we
Okay.
have our logo and brand on there. So our packaging has our information on there, and
Right.
then I have a trailer with a freezer in it that I take and have a generator that keeps the freezer going and keeps the beef frozen. And then I just sell, and sometimes I will do samples so people can try some bratwurst or try some summer sausage and let them see what it's like and know that it's all beef. And I've also reached out to the what is it, Beef Council, and they
Mhm.
do some recipes and information about beef and things to hand out. And I've got some color books for kids that tell the story of beef. And so I do more than just sell my beef at the markets.
Most definitely. Like I said, you're educating, and then you're into the marketing side of it. That you have really blessed my spirit. I'm just in awe of what mothers in ag are actually doing in the industry of agriculture. But what you're saying as far as the marketing side, and we want women to understand, it's all the way you present it and what you bring to
Yes.
make sure people understand it. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right. So, what do you find some of your pitfalls are? And I hate to go there, but I have to make this show real. In order to make it real, I have to put the pitfalls in
I
there.
have a lot of pitfalls thinking, oh, I can do this, and let's add one more thing to the plate. And then you get kind of scattered too thin. But a lot of times, I think my house gets left to the side or the yard and those kinds of things. And I think those are probably my biggest pitfall is thinking, oh, I have all these birds. What's one more? Let's get turkeys or let's get peacocks or
Right.
adding more things than what I can handle probably.
Okay. So that was your words of wisdom earlier, to start small and add as you
Yeah.
go,
Yes.
gradually, but don't like overload
Yes.
yourself. master the one thing and before you move to another. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
So I'm hearing as far as pitfalls. How was COVID for you? Man, how did you handle that?
Um, COVID came a year ago, February, for our family,
Mhm.
and it was during the ice storm that we had. So I think the good Lord blessed me in that with the ice storm so that we would still have to get up and get going and move around. So we didn't get, the lung infections and the things that some
Most
people had.
definitely.
But it really actually, I think, did not hurt our business because I was able to do, I called it gate side pickup instead of curbside.
Yes.
That people could call me and say, hey, I need 10 pounds of ground beef. And they could pay me online, and then I would meet them at our gate, or they would drive up to our farm kitchen, which is a farm store and a kitchen.
Mhm.
And then I could just run it out to the car. And I don't really think it hurt us that much.
Wow. Okay, so I like that. You call it gate side pickup, not curbside, but gate side pickup.
Yes, they would come, yeah, come to the farm. And because since we have livestock, our gates closed down by the road. And so
Uh-huh.
if they were sick or something and didn't feel like getting out, then I could just drive down to the gate and take it to the car.
Awesome. You worked that. I'm like, look at you again. A Jill of all trade. I heard you say something about the farm store kitchen. You have a store there on your grounds?
Well, it's in the works to make it more of a store,
Yes.
but I needed a building for my farm camp kids to have a place to come in that we could do when it's hot, and we could have some educational classes cool off, or if it's raining, we still
Mhm.
have like an indoor classroom. And then my brain was like, okay, we dig potatoes at farm camp and we've been cooking them on a hot plate outside. So I thought, well, I'll just add a kitchen to the store, and then we'll have a place to do cooking lessons and teaching demonstrations and things. And I, at one time, was going to certify the kitchen
Mhm.
and lease it out when I wasn't using it, but the health department required me to have some special fancy well that I chose not to invest that much money in. And so the
Right.
kitchen's not certified, even though it could be, on down the road.
Most
Then
definitely.
the Freedom Act was passed, and you didn't need a licensed kitchen for certain things. So our freezers for our beef are in there, and that's where the eggs are. So when people come, that's where they go to purchase things. And
Mm.
then I have it for a classroom for the month of June when we do farm camp.
You are phenomenal. That's really great. So you actually charge for the farm camp and all that. So
Yes,
that's a revenue for you as well.
yes,
That's awesome. Mrs. Cook, you're a phenomenal woman. And here I give you your virtual flowers, your pink virtual flowers. I'm giving to you as a mother in ag. You have blessed us this day. I encourage anyone, if it's okay with you, to actually follow you. If you want to give your actual social media um, information as well as your website. We would love for you to give us that information here. And so people could get in contact with you to come to your farm or, come to do the camp, catch her at a farmer's market, buy her locally grown beef or veggies or hanging plants or herbs, as you said. So you
yes.
see, and she's there. Go ahead and recap everything for us where they could find Mrs. Cook at doing her thing.
Well, we have our website, which is just forceagservice.com. And I'm sure if you Google that will show up. We're also on Facebook as Forcey Ag Service, and also on Instagram. And one day I'll get brave enough to start YouTube, but I haven't done. And I do a little bit of a TikTok, but it's nothing major. It's just so that I can do videos to share to Facebook and Instagram. And you can also find me at the farmers markets on Tuesday night. I'll be at the East Side Fresh Market on 63rd,
Mhm.
Tacoma Park Farmers Market on 23rd Street, Choctaw Farmers Market on Fridays at the Choctaw Creek Park, and then Arcadia Farmers Market on Saturday.
Wow. You guys, I don't want to ever hear we're tired or we can't, because here is Mrs. Cook from 4C Ag Services. You're doing it all. I mean, literally on every level, you are killing it. You really are. So are your children involved in this? I'm going to get that piece in because I'm kind of like going through things. I'm like, okay, this is Mothers in Ag. Have you, your children, you know, are you have a succession plan for them to get involved in the business or?
Yes, one day they will. My daughter was working out of the country, but just recently was able to we went black. Secure, there it goes. Okay, to secure a job in the States. So she'll be able to be here and not be gone as much. And eventually, and then our son lives here on the farm too, but he works at a big cattle sale barn at OKC West in El Reno. And so he helps us with the cattle side of things. So
bless you, sister. That is phenomenal. So is your daughter military?
no, she's not military. She was doing a civilian job overseas with did dog handling.
Wow, look at you. You guys are true Aggies.
Yeah, she got her love for animals from her mom and her dad.
Most definitely. It's, and like I tell people, it's in my DNA. I come from a family, well, my family still run beef cattle in the eastern side of Oklahoma. So I get it, and I love, and I'm just, like I said, pink virtual flowers to you, Mother in Ag. This is the end of our show. I want to thank you, and I want to make sure, again, people, she's told you where you can reach her. You can get some of the locally grown food that she's producing. I do want to contact you and be in connection on those seedlings. If just meet you at a market. Do you bring the seedlings to market?
Yes, I do bring plants to market.
Awesome. Great. So I will definitely be looking you at them there, as well as the ag camp. I love that. Like I said, I would love to bring our children out. We're planning to open our agriculture child care in June. So that will definitely be a field trip. I will be in contact with you.
I'm looking forward to that.
Well, thank you again for taking the time out your day to share with the rest of the world. And I look forward to seeing you soon. You have a great day and happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, and thank you for choosing me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence is it.